Okay, so I thought I'd show you how to do question number 1 on problem set 6 out of the textbook, right? And this is just like, one of the first questions in the web assigned work that I have you do. And you can certainly use Dr. Stevens' Z-score table. And they certainly work. They aren't all that difficult to do with a table, looking it up. And remember, if it's a less than, you can take the number right off the table. If it's greater than, you can do 1 minus the number off the table. If you're looking for the in-between ones, well, you get to do that probability off the table, get that probability off the table, then subtract them. It starts to be a little more of a bit of a hassle in that case. So let me point you, if you haven't watched any of the other videos, why don't you watch, hopefully you'll watch this one, and I'll show you how to use this DavidLlane applet to do this work, okay? It's great. There's other applets out there. What I like about this one, it does the picture, it gives us a graph of the distribution and whatever here. Let me move some of these windows out of the way. Okay, so I want to find the probability the z-score is less than 1 point. So not the z-score, but find the percent of the probability of the percentage of the distribution, the percentile that's less than a z-score of 1.96 or less than 1.96 standard deviations above the mean. It's above the mean because it's positive. So because this is the standard normal curve, the mean is 0, the standard deviation is 1. So I'm at that DavidLlane app. You can click on that and the tools, or you can Google DavidLlane normal, and this will pop up. So you got to make sure you fix the mean. Make sure you have area from a value, because the area is a probability. You see that down there. So the mean 0, the standard deviation is 1. I want to know the probability below 1.96. You got to key that in. I just got lucky, and that's there. So that's the probability of. And see how it sketches the graph for us really nicely. So that's the answer for A. And if you go look it up in Dr. Stevens' work, that's a start exercise, you'll see that he'll have a very similar answer, if not the same answer. Now this says greater than 2.13. So above 2.13. And that is that probability. See how it gives us the graph and see how it gives us the probability? Very slick. So the rest of these are the same. Then how do we do an in-between one? So in between -121 and 2.13. So let's see, I'm going to write those down because I will leave this screen. I'll cover the screen up and I won't remember that. -1.21 to 2.13. So I'm going to click between those two z-scores. So -1.21 and 2.13. And that's that probability. See how it gives us the nice graph of what we're finding? And that's that probability. So it's that easy to do with a DavidLlane applet. And this works for the non-standard curves too. I've got other videos about that, so I won't bother showing that here. If you're dealing with other means and other standard deviations, you can still do the same thing without having to find z-scores. And that's the beautiful thing about this kind of calculator.